everyone, it's me, Megan Hunt, back with another video. In case you're joining me for the first time, I'm a self-taught artist, and this is part of an experiment to try and find my unique style and my unique process. So I'm doing 100 versions of this particular line art and just trying to figure out what speaks to me as far as what style do I love to do, what's most enjoyable, what end result do am I most proud of, I guess. And so it's definitely going to involve a lot of experimentation. I apologize for the bad camera angle. I'm still struggling with trying to find the best way to set up my camera. I have a light that has like a camera holder or like a phone holder, but for whatever reason I'm struggling to get it into a good spot to show my art while I'm working on it. So I apologize for that, and hopefully I will find a better setup next time. I think in this particular video I didn't zoom out, and I'll definitely do that next time because I want you to be able to see like the whole artwork that I'm working on. Anyways, yeah, I'm saying a lot. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm going through a lot in my personal life right now, and I don't want to get into details, but I am unexpectedly moving to Florida from Michigan, and it's a lot of change. I'm getting a new day job, and that's also stressful, and it all has to kind of line up because I have to move as soon as possible. So it's been a struggle. It's been really stressful. I've been, trying to scale down on things in my home and trying to get ready to pack. And on top of it, I have one more college class, and I'm doing it's my final, it's my capstone course. So it's a lot of writing papers, and I am dreading it, but I've already put it off twice now. And I'm like, I can't put this off again. I need to just get it done. And I feel like life is never going to slow down enough for me to be like, yeah, this is the right time. It's perfect. Life's going to be crazy for a little while, for the foreseeable future. So I am just going to try to do my best to keep up with doing art on a regular basis, because this keeps me sane. It's also, ultimately what I hope to do for a living someday. I have dreams of being a full-time artist, and I suffer from imposter syndrome like a lot of us artists and creators do. But it's hard to believe that it's possible for me. Here I am, just kind of stumbling through figuring out how to make YouTube videos, and just kind of overwhelmed with, I need to learn how to make thumbnails, and I need to make an introduction. One of my favorite creators that I follow is Danica Sills, and she has this really nice music that, is just, the minute I hear it, I know it's a Danica Sills video. And then she has like a little logo that pops up, and it's just it's kind of like her brand in a way, And I'm like, I need to do that. I need to build a sort of brand, and I need to, make thumbnails for my YouTube videos that catch people's eyes and catch their interest and come up in the searches and so on and so forth. So it just feels like I have a lot to learn, and it's definitely a little overwhelming. But I feel like the only way I'm ever going to get there is if I just dive in and start. So I've kind of said that in my last videos as well, but it still feels like a struggle. I think it's going to be a struggle for a little while. But I'm just doing my best, you know? It's better than not doing it. It's so much better to produce something than to not produce anything. So anyway, as you can see, I'm kind of working on trying to get even washes on her skin. This particular paper is not the best quality. It's okay. It's like the most basic Strathmore watercolor paper. I'd have to look at the cover to see like what weight it is and everything. I think it's like, I want to say like it's 170 pounds. I can't remember for sure, but it just seems to be really, really difficult to get even washes on. And I'm interested in trying different paper. Now that I'm kind of like getting my line art where I want it to be, I really, really need to find, you know, a paper that's still cost friendly, because obviously this is an experiment, right? Like I'm just doing like experimentation with different styles and different line art and everything. So I don't want to use the most expensive paper, which, you know, probably my personal favorite so far is Arches, 100% cotton, 300-pound watercolor paper. It's just so nice to paint on, and it's so much easier to get even washes and get the paint to kind of go where I want it to go. And, you know, to some extent, watercolor is going to do what it wants to do. But I feel like on certain types of paper, like this paper, it is so hard to get even washes. And I don't want, especially skin, I don't want skin to look splotchy and uneven, because then it doesn't look like skin. So I've been struggling with that a little bit lately. And yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry. I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about next. As you can see, I'm working on her, you know, her dress, and I really love the color palette I went with this. I used like green for her dress and like purple for her eyes and purple for the jewels in her jewelry. And then she has brown hair, and it just, I don't know, it just gives me kind of like a magical vibe. I kind of went with sort of a steampunk look with this particular rendition. I love the monocle. I don't know why, but I had this weird, like, you know, inspiration one day where I was like, I'm going to give her a monocle. And I'm like, I like it. I like it a lot. It's great. I did her eyebrows a little bit differently this time. I used more ink with the Micron pen this time rather than just outlining. So I did, you know, in her hair, I had, you know, some texture in there. And I tried to do a little bit of light shading with the pen before I even started to watercolor. And then before I started actually painting the colors, I did a, you know, overall wash. You can kind of see like from looking at the border, I did like a brownish wash to make it look kind of aged and vintage. So that was kind of a fun way to kind of give it a little bit of extra character. And I think too, like, I really like how I kind of went with simple looking makeup, I guess, instead of going like some of the renditions I've done have been like pretty extreme. And that's the idea, you know, I'm pushing the limits, I'm trying different things, but I think so far this one might be one of my favorites. I had a lot of fun working on this, and it felt like, it didn't feel like a chore. It felt enjoyable to work on. It felt satisfying. Some of the paintings I do, like I did one that I really want to redo of an African American woman in like a purple dress. And I think it could be so pretty. But I was struggling with the paper and I could not get an even wash. And so I would really like to try that one again, or at least, a similar concept. Because I also noticed in that particular line art, the eyes were kind of wonky. Like I just really struggle with this three-quarters view for whatever reason. Even though I've drawn this type of pose where it's like a three-quarter, the person is looking at the camera and, it's a three-quarters view. For whatever reason, I struggle with getting the eyes right because my brain's like thinking of perspective, like, okay, so one of her eyes is closer to us, so, I'm trying to keep that in mind. But then I'm trying to keep in mind that, her eyes also still have to line up as far as, being even with each other. And it just, for whatever reason, this really throws my brain off. I don't know. It's a struggle. So I've learned so far in my art journey that the things that I struggle with are the things I need to work on the most. So that's definitely going to be something that I think I'm going to find like YouTube tutorials and really work on and spend some time just getting the proportions right, getting the perspective right, and, making sure that her eyes look, believable and not, one's too big and one's too small, or one's too high and one's too low. Like it's just a huge struggle. Like the more I stare at this while I'm recording, the more I'm like, her eyes look off. And I'm like, stop it. It's too late. Don't worry about it. So yeah, but overall, I really like how this one turned out. I had a lot of fun with it. Um, yeah, sorry, I apparently am working on a spot that you can't see right now. Um, yeah, that's very unfortunate. Hopefully I can find a um, better position to film from in the future. Anyway, I'm not really sure what else to talk about right now. Um, One of the big things that I've been really struggling with lately is feeling really overwhelmed with so many social media platforms and trying to figure out, I think maybe I bit off a little more than I can chew because I'm doing YouTube and Patreon and Instagram and Facebook, and I have a Kara account. Um, what else? It just seems like it's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. Luckily, my Instagram automatically posts to my Facebook, so that makes life a little easier. But then I have comments in both places that I want to take the time to, respond to and interact with people. And then with YouTube, it's just a learning curve, like I can't just post a photo. I'm trying to learn how to do more than just reels, which I did learn how to do reels for Instagram originally. Um, TikTok is another platform that I technically have, but I haven't really posted on there very much. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to figure out which one seems to work the best for me and helps me reach people the most effectively. And obviously, I don't think I can keep up all of those forever. I think at some point I'm going to need to narrow it down to whatever's most effective. Because, even if I'm a full-time artist, I can't be, I'd be spending all my time on social media and creating content rather than creating art. And I really, really want to keep some balance because I think it's important to use social media to reach people, and therefore content is kind of, it's not necessary, I guess. There are other ways to achieve a followership. But I think, for me, it's just like I'm trying to figure out which one is going to work the best. And so I kind of need to try them all and figure out sort of a process and um, like a routine. And, I definitely want to create sort of like a schedule. Like, on this day of the month, I post on this platform. And on this day of the month, I post on that platform, and try to develop a little bit of a routine. But it's gonna be a struggle for a while I'm trying to figure out what works the best and what allows me to do art without sacrificing too much of my authenticity. I don't want to just create art for likes. I want to create art that I love and that I believe in, and share it with the world. So it's always a struggle. I have to ask myself sometimes, are you making this for yourself, or are you making this for everybody else in some way? You know, it's hard because once I started sharing my art, it's hard to get out of that mentality of like, in the back of your mind, you're like, what color palette would people like, and it's like, stop. I just need to think about what I like. And honestly, I think with this painting, I really did well, especially with like the color palette. I had a lot of fun with it. Um, I really enjoy, like, honestly, the color of her hair was really fun. Um, I don't know what it is, but this is so satisfying. Like, the other parts were like, okay, that's fine. But right now, just watching myself paint the hair, I'm like, ooh. So the hair was really satisfying with this one. And um, I think the way I did the line art really helps as well because it gives it texture and depth. And um, I like her jewelry as well with this one. Um, I like the original I did with like sort of the lace collar. So I think I'd like to do sort of like a hybrid between this and like the lace, but we'll see. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about at this point. I'm just kind of babbling. So I may just stop my voiceover and maybe find some music to put on or something. Um, yeah, because I don't want to babble your ear off when I don't feel like I have anything more specific to say. Um, but I hope you enjoy this, and I certainly enjoyed working on it. And if you go to my Patreon, you can sign up for, I think it's $3 a month. I have to double check, but and you can cancel anytime. But you can get a coloring page of this line art and color it yourself. And I would love to see what you come up with. I think it would be just super fun to see your versions and your color palettes and your interpretation. Um, I think it'd be really neat if, at some point I could do like a draw this in your style sort of challenge and see everyone's different versions of this sort of. I guess I don't want to call her a character because she's, it's a line art that's changing constantly. Like, I've done different versions, and I think it'd be fun to do like an Asian version and like maybe a modern version instead of like the Victorian lady, and just, different hair colors, different skin colors, different jewelry types. The sky's the limit. I just want to keep pushing it and see what happens. So I would love to see your versions. If you want to draw this and make up your own, please, tag me on Instagram or share it here in the comments, whatever you want to do. I would love to see what you come up with because I love those kinds of challenges. The different draw it in your style challenges and seeing everybody's different interpretations. So I really hope some of you do that because that would be super fun. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight and find some music to put on after this. And I hope you have a great evening or whatever time of day it is for you, where you are. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.